By the way, I don't know what Ion Network was trying to do last night. The broadcasters said at least twice that the game was sold out. And that was not true. All right? That was not true. The game was roughly almost 800 tickets shy of being sold out for Paige Bueckers' debut at the College Park Center.
The Dallas Wings have finally done the unthinkable. They've tried to convince us that Paige Bueckers is the next Caitlin Clark. By this, I mean that they have made a desperate attempt to hype up a player who, let's face it, doesn't have the same draw. If Paige were any more overhyped, they would probably have to start handing out flyers asking people to attend the local mall. So what happened to all that Paige effect we kept hearing about? Stay tuned as we dive into the crazy reality check that just hit the Dallas Wings and NaLyssa Smith.
The biggest superstar the WNBA has ever seen in the last 8 months. Paige Bueckers arrives and gets 6,251 people in attendance. Oh my God, it was flooded. It was flooded. The College Park Center was flooded with people. Oh, maybe it wasn't flooded. Maybe it wasn't really flooded at all. We can't sell out Paige Bueckers' home debut, her season opener, and her home debut. We can't even sell that out. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, goodness gracious. Paige Bueckers is fitting in perfectly into the WNBA. Good job, Paige. Good. Nobody else can sell out their games in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark can.
The Dallas Wings, that venerable institution of basketball mediocrity, are finally waking up from its fantasy to admit what the rest of us already knew. Paige Bueckers is not Caitlin Clark. The same Dallas organization that used the first overall pick as a landing page was going to make them the WNBA's hottest ticket. You know, the kind of ticket that breaks Ticketmaster like a Caitlin Clark game does.
This is for her, Paige Bueckers' debut game. Now, should be noted, don't forget, when Caitlin Clark and the Fever come to town, they're moving the game to American Airlines Arena, where the Mavericks play. So Paige Bueckers' debut is still in their regular arena, College Park Arena. And you may be wondering, American Airlines Arena has a 20,000 seat capacity. This only has a 7,000 seat capacity. So it's going to be very interesting, and in case you're wondering, there are still a ton of tickets left for this thing. The only thing that's sold out, I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, so you got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sections that are sold out, and then there's a bunch of blue where there are tickets available. So
they are nearly rushing to explain the patches of empty seats as soon as Paige makes her arrival. When reality hits, things shift. The hype party, but let's talk about what actually happened in May. Paige Bueckers was out there making her WNBA debut against her hometown Minnesota Lynx, which was supposedly a dream matchup. However, there were actual seats available and noticeable gaps in the crowd. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark has been breaking attendance records like they're made of tissue paper, but the media decided that wasn't enough to acknowledge the clear difference in star power.
To put back, how did that feel, and how did you feel about your performance in total?
Yeah, I should have made the first one. Room to grow. You got to have a starting point, so you got to have a foundation to build on. We don't want to overreact to the loss, but we also know there's a lot of things we have to clean up and get better at.
Why? Perhaps the basketball media should just act as though there is a rivalry here. That might have been the story of the next big thing. They had something going on with Paige. Could it have been the desperate attempt to find someone who could stand in the same frame as Caitlin Clark? You know it's cute when the WNBA just decides to give out future face of the league titles to anyone who had a good college career, but remember that Caitlin Clark is out there breaking attendance records as if she's on some kind of mission to make the WNBA mainstream. The kind of attendance that made you wonder if she had a personal grudge against empty seats, but somehow the Dallas Wings believed that bringing in Paige Bueckers would create the same electricity. If you're enjoying, please subscribe.
Unfortunately lost to the Minnesota Lynx in her debut 99-84, but have no fear, the second coming of the Great White Hope is...
However, as the story progresses, it becomes clear that NaLyssa Smith abandoned Caitlin Clark after she was traded from the Indiana Fever to the Dallas Wings. I mean, she only watched the entire season as Clark transformed the Fever into the WNBA's most popular player, so I suppose she couldn't handle being on a team where she wasn't the center of attention. When she learned of her trade, she updated her Instagram bio more quickly than you could say career mistake, effectively leaving Indianapolis with a declaration of new beginning. In her wisdom, NaLyssa Smith exchanged they claim to have found gold in their backyard and promised sellout crowds with Indiana for the maybe will fill the lower bowl reality of Dallas. They said, "Oh look, we've got Paige Bueckers, we're going to be the next big thing." Well, no kidding, Dallas. Everyone knows there's only one Caitlin Clark, but hey, it's better late than never to learn that lesson, right?
Despite the loss, Paige Bueckers shined in her WNBA debut. No, she didn't. If you are going to coddle Paige Bueckers like this, then I'm sorry. You think, like, if this was shining, if 10 points and 30% shooting, 7 rebounds, and 2 assists to 2 turnovers, and more fouls than assists as a point guard, if that is shining, then just say you don't think Paige Bueckers is that good.
Oh, hey, remember that Paige Bueckers, she's amazing, she's a freaking superstar. The Wings say now. Oh my goodness, it just took one defeat during the regular season too. Minnesota, it's like watching your friend who purchased a knockoff designer bag and then one day complaining about the stitching coming undone, acting as though they didn't know it wasn't authentic. Oh, I thought we were getting the same thing. Yeah, buddy. Don't act too surprised when everyone else is trying to remind you that there's only one original. Perhaps she's not quite the same draw as Clark. Thank you, Dallas, for finally realizing what the rest of the world had figured out months ago. Let's also discuss the comparison method used by the media. As everyone knows, the sports media enjoys fostering rivalries. You see what I mean when I say that? Just when you think they've finally come to terms with the fact that someone is in their own league, they pull some outrageous stunts that make you question whether they were watching the same sport as everyone else.
Right here, despite the loss, Paige Bueckers shined in her WNBA debut, okay? And they showed 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Cool, if you want to say that, that's cool, right? That's fine. Maybe you are a fan of her. Maybe you're a huge fan of Paige Bueckers. Fine, you want to decorate it, make it seem like she did her thing, that's fine. But let's go back to what happened right here, right? This was last year when you were talking about Caitlin Clark. Now look at what they said. An up and down WNBA debut for Caitlin Clark. What does up and down mean? And look at the stats. 20 points, 5 for 15, 10 turnovers.
For example, Paige Bueckers, who assisted UConn in winning a national championship, was instantly compared to Caitlin Clark because, who knows, perhaps the media simply cannot bear the notion of recognizing that one athlete is only more transformative than the rest. Perhaps it's because they're so accustomed to inventing rivalries rather than acknowledging the obvious fact that it's really a mystery. So here's the media pushing this page against Caitlin's story, even though Clark had already had the kind of season where fans were willing to pay thousands of dollars for tickets and arena attendance increased by over 150% simply because Caitlin Clark was in town. But let's not forget the irony that, despite all the hype about the Paige effect allegedly rivaling the Clark effect, we're seeing the stark reality that one player regularly sells out arenas across the country while the other, well, let's say the Dallas Wings, are probably not concerned about their ticket office being overrun.
It's just different. That's all I'm going to say. Like, we have not seen any... can't remember the last time we've seen anything like this. It's just mad. It's just mad to see the cues, just everything when it comes to Caitlin Clark and this Indiana Fever team. Like, they are playing in... I'm not joking. It's 4 hours till tip-off. It is 4 hours till tip-off, and I just saw this right here from Dave Portnoy. There's a line for Caitlin Clark merch around the corner at 9 a.m, an hour before the team stores opens, and 6 hours before tip-off. Like, can we be honest? Like, this is not normal. That is not normal. Is it something that's happened before? Probably. Is it normal? Hell no.
The wings seem to have flown from "we have the next big thing" to "okay, why I am just waiting for the inevitable shift where they start overtly marketing games against the Fever as your opportunity to see Caitlin Clark." Aren't tickets selling like they do for Fever games in a few days? With some dramatic music playing in the background, the highlight reels will likely show more of Clark than their own players. We'll see slow-motion footage of crowded Indiana arenas contrasted with the dispersed crowds at Dallas games, leaving Wings management perplexed as to where their grand scheme went awry. Yes, Paige Bueckers is a talented player and a former national champion who'll have a successful WNBA career, but let's not pretend she's bringing about the revolutionary change that Caitlin Clark has brought about in women's basketball. She isn't making people wonder why the NBA is necessary when we have this. She isn't setting attendance records, creating history, or elevating the sport to a point where broadcast executives are doing backflips.
Take a look at what Paige did, okay? This is Paige Bueckers right here. She went 3 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 2 from the 3, took care of the line. She had 7 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 10 points, all right? She had 2 turnovers, 3 fouls within the game. She took care of the line. So, yeah, it really wasn't that good. She didn't have a great day of shooting. Not what we're used to seeing her being efficient.
But let's not overlook the biggest loser in all of this, NaLyssa Smith. In typical fashion, she failed this one both literally and figuratively because she was too focused on starting over and escaping Caitlin Clark's shadow to realize what she was giving up. What's even worse is that she can't even act as though she didn't make a mistake. The attendance figures provide evidence, and the Dallas Wings attendance is borderline embarrassing in comparison to what she left behind in Indiana. She was literally leaving what could have been the most watched WNBA team in history, making passes that left you wondering if she was paying attention at all or if she was too busy plotting her escape from playing a supporting role in the Caitlin Clark story. Don't get me wrong, her stats were good in Indiana. During her best season with the Fever, she averaged 15.5 points and 9.2 rebounds, but rather than accepting her role alongside a generational talent, she left for a team that can't even fill its arena for its star rookie.
Smith claimed that the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark was holding her back? Where were you? You were MIA, basically. I didn't see you as some offensive juggernaut, and just as I suspected, Enrique is still the star of this team. Regardless of any Paige Bueckers, Dejanay Carrington, NaLyssa Smith, it's still Enrique's show. Plain and simple. So,
however, NaLyssa Smith must be abruptly aware of what she has sacrificed while. The player who once hardly gave Clark the time of day is now likely regretting every new beginning social media post she ever made. What's really funny, though, is that Smith can't even pull off the "I made the right decision" narrative. She can't go back and pretend like leaving the Caitlin Clark game. Caitlin Clark is the hottest name in basketball, and the Indiana Fever can't print tickets fast enough. Smith is playing in front of a half-full arena for a team that has already begun the season. To bandwagon was a wise career choice, but it's too late for that. The attendance records and revenues show that she was too preoccupied with boosting her ego and wanting to be more successful to see the genuine opportunity to be a part of something truly momentous that was right in front of her.
And I know people are championing, oh, they said it was a sellout. They said it was a Folks, this is what a sellout looks like. Shout out to you, Jar Jar. 18,064, getting freaking chairs from the lunchroom, bringing them here. Oh, this is an extra chair right here. We'll charge $60 for this. That's what a sellout looks like. Shout out to the Golden State Valkyrie fans over there in San Fran. But 6,251 people out of 7,000, only in the WNBA can we sit and clap. Oh my God, what a sellout crowd. Oh my goodness, what a sellout crowd. What did you guys think?
Ultimately, the timing of NaLyssa Smith's departure from the Fever to the Wings is even more ludicrous. It's like witnessing someone abandon a gold mine to begin digging in their backyard and then attempting to pretend that they were making the wise move. Financial choice all along. The truth is that Smith's alleged new beginning is the epitome of how some athletes believe it's all about who gets the spotlight. You can be a part of something revolutionary all day long, but some players just can't handle it unless you're the center of attention. Nelissa Smith, the basketball player she is, didn't want to fit into the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, so she just put herself out there. Sure, she's joined Paige Bueckers bandwagon only to find out that the pond is even smaller than she had anticipated in the big fish, small pond category.
The Minnesota Lynx were not very good for most of the game. For an awful lot of the game, they weren't very good. I'm going to be honest, for most of this game, they did not play well. They didn't play well. And it was just the two-man game between NaLyssa Collier and Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams with 25 and 9 assists. NaLyssa Collier with 34 points. And by the way, every single time NaLyssa Smith is on the floor, they attacked her. They attacked NaLyssa Smith. Every single possession, they attacked NaLyssa Smith. Whether it be Jessica Shepard, who looks like a beast. Oh my God, having her off the bench when Alana Smith comes back. The Lynx are the team to beat. The Lynx didn't shoot particularly well.
The Dallas Wings are now rushing to give Paige Bueckers the promotion they promised, attempting to create the same excitement that naturally comes to Caitlin Clark. It's genuinely hilarious, like watching someone who recently purchased a 10-mile range electric car try to convince everyone that it's just as good as a Tesla only to run out of battery while insisting they're having the time of their lives. To make the point, you can practically hear the marketing team at the Wings perspiring behind the scenes. The people who have been saying since day one that there is only one Caitlin Clark are soaking up the glory right now, smuggling their coffee and savoring every opportunity to say, "Told you so," frantically putting together last-minute promotions and discount packages like it somehow creates the same organic enthusiasm. Seeing Nelissa Smith realize that she left the biggest thing in women's basketball to join a struggling team with half-full seats is the true karma, even though there is something genuinely rewarding about being correct. It is superior to any slow-motion replay, jaw-dropping dunk, or buzzer beater. With a basketball twist, this is poetic justice, and I'm here for every embarrassing attendance dilemma that arises.
I don't think the Wings are very good. I know there are a lot of people that probably like the Dallas Wings because they like Paige Bueckers. They think Arike is a winning basketball player. They think NaLyssa Smith ISO post touches is going to win you basketball games. They think allowing Dejanay to go ISO is going to win you basketball games. They think Chris Sides is a good coach. They think them trying to put belt to ass to the Toyota Antelopes means anything. This team's not good. This is possibly the worst defensive team in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is now receiving the recognition she is due. And to be honest, the distance between her and everyone else is getting wider every day. After carrying college basketball on her back, setting records, and packing arenas like Beyoncé on tour, it makes sense that she is attracting the same crowds in the WNBA while others are having difficulty filling their lower bowls. We may need to launch a worldwide petition to keep NaLyssa Smith away if she starts to show up hating and after leaving the Clark sensation, so we hope that she doesn't beg for a trade back to the Fever next season. The world is watching Caitlin, not NaLyssa Smith and Paige Bueckers, as she changes the game rather than merely playing it. She is discovering the hard way that, in some cases, starting in the orbit of a real superstar is the ideal place to be.